Best Archaeological Innovation, the Grey Literature Library, Geospatial Search and Digital Object Identifier Assignment. Grey literature is so called because it consists of unpublished material that cannot be found through the usual means of scouring library catalogues or citing an international standard book number. To the archaeological community, it is invisible and inaccessible. Often it consists of short reports on excavations or fieldwork that are not felt to be worth publishing, given the costs and the potentially small readership, but that is nevertheless essential for ensuring that we have as complete an understanding of the historic landscape as possible and for informing future research. What are we going to do about the problem of grey literature has been a constant cry over the last 2 or more decades amongst archaeologists. The answer is the Library of Unpublished Fieldwork Reports, also known as the Grey Literature Library, which has now been under development for the last 7 years. Hosted by the Archaeology Data Service, this is now the largest collection of online archaeological reports in the UK. But with a database of some 16,000 reports, and one that is increasing at the rate of around 200 per month, 2 new challenges soon emerged: finding relevant reports, and then giving a precise citation for those reports in notes and bibliographies. The first issue was solved by the integration of grey literature into Arc Search. This means that you can select where, what, and when search criteria, and switch to a map to select a specific area of interest. This huge step forward in making this material discoverable can be used directly in conjunction with monument inventory records, associated archives, and other resources. The second major innovation has been solving the problem of addressing how you cite online documents when there is no publisher and no ISBN number. Here, working with the British Library, the ADS is now assigning unique DOIs, or Digital Object Identifiers, to every report. DOIs are an internationally recognised means of tagging and identifying digital datasets, which now includes the contents of the Grey Literature Library. These combined innovations represent the culmination of a number of years of technical development at the ADS, which means that the problem of archaeological grey literature is at last beginning to be tackled. Slowly but surely, the potential of this hitherto hard-to-find and difficult-to-cite body of work is being realised, so that grey literature can become the widely used research resource it deserves to be.
Best Archaeological Innovation. SURE, the Specialist User Recording Environment. SURE, the Specialist User Recording Environment, is a groundbreaking initiative that allows up-to-the-minute archaeological and heritage data from partners in national, local, and third sector organizations across Scotland to be held and updated in one place online. Through SURE, partners can enter information directly into a single web-based database and instantly publish the results of their work for public and professional access. In effect, through SURE, no archaeologist is working in isolation anymore, or is likely to meet a colleague at some future date and say, "If only I had known about your work." The founding partners in SURE were the Royal Commission on the Ancient and Historical Monuments of Scotland and the National Trust for Scotland, but others have been quick to see the advantages, and the partners in SURE now include Orkney Islands Council, the Garden History Society in Scotland, and Treasure Trove Scotland. Additional local and national partners are expected to join in the coming months. SURE users make the best use of resources by sharing one database, which they access through Canmore, which currently has records of more than 300,000 buildings, archaeological and maritime sites across Scotland, and over 150,000 digital images. Through SURE, partners may add new records or update information for existing sites on their areas of responsibility throughout Scotland. The use of web services means that changes are live and visible to the public on Canmore as soon as they are made. Staff across all partner organizations can see instantly where their colleagues have been working, leading to efficiencies and an end to duplicate effort, while the greatest beneficiaries are public and professional users of the data, who can now view, in real time, the results of collaborative working online. Best Archaeological Innovation. Coombe Down Stone Mines Stabilization Project, Bath. The hills of Coombe Down look solid enough from the surface, but between 1730 and 1860, the bedrock below the turf was mined to provide the fine-grained limestone that was used as the main building material for the Golden Age of Bath. Coombe Down thus saw the development of the first large-scale underground stoneworkings in England, the legacy of which is some 18 hectares of underground workings. Just a few meters above lie the hundreds of homes that form Coombe Down's central conservation area. When the workings were found to be dangerously unstable and liable to collapse, Oxford Archaeology was called in to create a detailed archaeological record prior to stabilization by filling the mines with foamed concrete. Oxford Archaeology's challenge was to make a record while staying safe. All recording had to be completed at long range using video, telephoto lenses, and laser scanning. The latter has enabled the production of 3D fly-throughs of the mine, including areas where the instability of the roof and surface deposits prevented human access. They were also used as the basis for a documentary film called Hallowed Ground, intended to form a central resource for the planned Coombe Down Mines Heritage Center. One of the most fascinating types of artifact that OA encountered were the many examples of contemporary graffiti daubed on the walls of the mine. These markings, often drawn in charcoal, provide crucial dating evidence and an interesting insight into many aspects of the miners' lives, detailing such things as the price of beer in the 19th century pubs of Coombe Down, the relative price of stone, and the miners' attitudes toward their employers, often uncomplimentary. Some of the most impressive and socially important graffiti were carefully cut out from the rock and removed from the mine prior to concreting. They have now been mounted in specially designed steel frames, which both protect and make them suitable for display. Graffiti in less stable areas were removed from the mine using a revolutionary new technique. The graffiti were coated with a rubber solution, which was then peeled from the wall along with the traces of the graffiti adhering to the rubber. The mirror image was then placed into a bath of resin, which, when set, contained an imprint of the graffiti. The results of the recording work were combined with documentary and literary research in a major monograph, Finished Labor of 1,000 Hands, written and published by Oxford Archaeology, OA Monograph No. 13, in 2011. This presents detailed analysis of the mining landscape and, in conjunction with documentary and literary research, provides an assessment of the wider landscape and the economic and social impact of the quarries on the village and Bath.